The 44 bosses paid more than Keir Starmer, who are hiking your council tax. I'm going to read into this exclusive from the iPaper, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive with the iPaper with the headline of the 44 bosses paid more than Keir Starmer, who are hiking your council tax. Beleaguered councils raise salaries of their top brass despite financial difficulties, which have led to exceptional support from the government. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. Yes, that's right. When these councils that are really struggling right now, and I've talked so much about the difficulty and the difficult decisions that these councils have to make, but when it comes to their salaries, they have to keep in line. They've got to make sure that they're getting their bumper pay, of course, because, priorities, of course. They have to make sure that they are raising their money. I have not read this article, and we're going to read it together, and I would not be surprised. And the fact that some of these bosses are being paid more than the Prime Minister definitely raises a lot of questions, doesn't it? Makes you think, how dare these councils? How dare these councils who are on money earning more than the bloody Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, while we are scraping at the bottom of the barrel? It's insane. It's insane. It's really insane. I think we should just get straight into it. Let's just go straight into it, you guys. 44 bosses at councils receiving effective bailouts are being paid more than the Prime Minister, including at authorities raising council tax by more than the maximum rate the iPaper can reveal. The councils raised salaries on their top brass despite financial difficulties, which led to exceptional financial support from the government, analysis of council documents and local reports found. The biggest pay rates were found in Birmingham, Somerset and the London boroughs of Lambeth, Haringey and Enfield. Funny how it always seems to be some London boroughs, doesn't it? Last month, 30 English local councils were given the green light by ministers to collectively borrow £1.5 billion to plug significant budget gaps, which have been blamed on underfunding and soaring demands for social care and other services. 6 local authorities were given permission to raise council tax by more than the national cap of 5%. The Shadow Communities Secretary Kevin Hollinrake said that residents would be dismayed by the pay of bosses at councils under significant strain, while former Business Secretary Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg called the vast salaries ridiculous. And this is on the one occasion that I will agree with Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg. Birmingham City Council's Managing Director, Soaring, was paid the highest salary at £295,000. 13% more than her predecessor, who was paid $260,389 for being a city council managing director. They're being paid more than £500,000. This is outrageous. This kind of money. This was also the biggest pay rise among the 44 high earners, paid more than the Prime Minister's salary of £166,000 a year, spread across 23 councils. Excuse me. 295,000. 166,000. This is a city councillor. How is this city councillor earning this much money? The government should be stepping in here and stripping these salaries well away from these councillor managing directors. Stripping them right back down. Stripping them right down. £100,000 a year. Max. On all city council workers. £100,000 max. And their work and their performance, then you base the rest of, if they want bonuses and whatnot, you base it off their performance. Cap it at 100,000 at least. 200,000 is outrageous. 150,000 is ridiculous. Cap it. Cap the rate. But it's just outrageous. £100,000 should be the maximum for these councillors. It's bonkers. And I don't care who you are in the comments section. No council managing director should be earning that amount of money. It's outrageous. Birmingham, which declared itself effectively bankrupt. Yeah, this is the same council. This is the same Birmingham that went bankrupt in 2023. And these guys are earning all this money. You're seeing something here, right? You're seeing what I'm seeing here, right? It was given permission to increase council tax by 7.5% in April. Last year, it raised the levy by 10%. Somerset Council, which will raise council tax by 7.5% in April, paid an unnamed staff member £275,000 to £280,000 in 2023-2024, and two more individuals £245,000 to £250,000, according to the council's most recent annual accounts. Chief Executive Duncan Sharkley earns less than the staff members, but still a hefty £202,950, the document shows. Two more staff members were listed as earning £170,000. How are they earning all this money? Is this where is all their money going from? Instead of actually running the goddamn city, they're just hogging it all for themselves. Is that what these councillors are doing? This is slash. All these wages need to be slashed. In the previous year, the council spent less, a combined £172,000 on the pay on the two different chief executives. Only one staff member was paid more than the Prime Minister in 2022-23, but highly paid staff increase is the most in the most recent year. Wow, here we go. This is it. Top salaries on the council on the brink. They have a table here as well. Okay, so they've analysed it from top to bottom here. So where do they get their source? This is the latest council accounts, council documents and local reports. This is where the IA paper get these. Also includes agency fees as well, just for reference there. So Birmingham, Managing Director, £295,000. Somerset, unnamed staff member, £275,000. Lambeth, £256,000. One Lambeth Transformer Director. Interim Corporation Financial. £250,000. Somerset here again, 245. Haringey, 225. Enfield, 221. £1,345 per day. Chief Finance Officer per day. 1,100 per day, and Chief Executive in Slough a day. Newham Chief Executive, 215,000. Bradford, Chief Executive, 212,000. Barnet, Chief Executive, 206,000. Somerset, 202,000. Croydon, 199,000. Let's go to the next page. Havering, 196,000. These are too high. Nottingham City Council, 190,000. Too high still. Chalford, 190,000. Chief Executive. Lambeth, 287,000. Corporate Director of Resources in Newham, 185,000. Wirral, Chief Executive, 185,000. Lambeth, Director of Infrastructure, Capital Delivery, 184,000. Lambeth, Executive Head Teacher, 184,000. Stoke-on-Trent, City Director, 183,000. These are all way too high. Still way too high. Newham, Corporate Director of Inclusive Economic and Housing Interim, 180,000. Cheshire East, Chief Executive, 180,000. Barnet, Deputy Chief Director, 179,000. Swindon, Chief Executive, 179,000. Winston, Maidenhead, 177,000. These are still far too high. Far too high. Yeah, even like interim executive director of Enfield, 150,000. Again, too high. All of these are too high. Unnamed staff member, Somerset, 175,000. What is this? And where is the money? Now, this is a good question I want to know. Is this actually coming directly out of money that the government provides to the councils to spread, for them to do their public service work? Or is that money that they're being paid, or is their wages being paid directly by the government, by taxpayer-funded government? That's a question that I have. Because either way, it's a waste of taxpayer money. There is no justification for any of them to be earning this amount of money. It should be capped at 100,000, and all these jobs should be capped at 100,000. 100,000 max, and if they want to earn more, they do it by a base, and it should be bonuses based on performances. That's how you do it. This is wrong in every single sense of the word. Like, what the hell? £1,345 per day. What the hell is that? I don't care how important these jobs are. This is too much money. You're all earning too much money. You don't deserve all this money. I don't care how good of their jobs they are. I don't care how important their jobs are. They do not deserve all this money. They don't. Because people are suffering and council taxes are going up. All of them can take a massive pay cut. Think of how much money we could raise just by cutting them all back down to 100,000. And don't tell me that they cannot live on £100,000. Yeah, they are more than qualified to be able to live on £100,000. Greedy is what this is. Lambeth Council spent 256,000. Paying us one. Yeah, we just read that, including cost of agency fees. The local authority, which gives a 40-minute financial support package, had 8 officials paid more than the Prime Minister, at the highest number among the local authorities. The local authority, which was given a £40 million financial support package, had 8 officials paid more than the Prime Minister, the highest number among the local authorities. In Slough, the previous government appointed Will Tuckley as interim chief executive, paying him £110,000 a day for 4 days a week, equivalent to a yearly salary of £228,000. If paid for 52 weeks in 2022-2023, the previous chief executive had been paid £174,000. The former Conservative government also appointed Annabelle Souls as Slough's interim chief finance officer last year on £1,375 a day, including an agency fee. If paid 5 days a week for the year, they would have worked out to £357,500. She has been made a permanent marker of a permanent member of staff, but her salary has not yet been published. Yeah. Slough Borough Council raised tax by 10% in 2023, by 8.5% in 2024, and was granted £15.7 million. London Council's Haringey, Enfield and Newham have some of the biggest pay rates for the chief executives and directors. Haringey, which has got £37 million of support from the government, pays chief executive Andy £225,000. Its director of finance salary was last disclosed as £186,000. Enfield's previous chief executive Ian Davis, who quit in December, was paid £221,000. The job was advertised in the range of £191,000 and £226,000. Why? Why are we advertising these jobs at such insane amounts of salary? Why? Who's making these decisions? Who is making these decisions in these councils that are justifying this amount of pay? I'm not disputing the importance of these jobs, okay? I want to make that clear. But the pay that they are getting is off the charts. It's absolutely off the charts, guys. I don't care what you can make all the case you want. There is no justification for these pays at all. None. In Newham, where council tax will rise by 9%, the chief executive, Abby Gabbo, was paid between £215,000 and £225,000. Responding to the I-Paper's findings, the Shadow Community Secretary said, residents will be left dismayed by Labour's councils raising the salaries of town hall bosses while delivering massive hikes on taxpayers in areas such as Newham and Birmingham. Is this Labour, though? Do we know that this is actually by Labour? We don't know that. Liberal Democrat councils are following Labour's lead by imposing a 7.5% increase on residents in Somerset while raising official salaries, he says. So apparently in Lib Dem councils they're getting pay increases as well, apparently. In Whitehall, Keir Starmer set the lead by massively increasing the pay of his own chief of staff while hiking up taxes across the board. Under Labour, you pay more and get less. A spokesperson for the government has said, while councils are responsible for managing their own finances, we have been clear that they should use taxpayer money wisely and carefully and consider the impact of the decision. We continue to engage with these councils and seek assurances for them to ensure that they're delivering for local residents. Well, I don't care whether they're delivering for local residents or not. There's no justifiability for this. So what is this? The 6 authorities increasing council tax above 5% here. 5%, 15%, 25%. So these are the areas where they're getting increases in council tax here, just a reminder. Newham, 9%, 7.5%, 7.5%, 7.5%, 10% increase. All of them getting big, massive increases in council tax. Rees-Mogg, the former Tory Minister for the Government Efficiency. I know you don't take him seriously, but he's been giving his opinion. It's ridiculous that we have lots of badly run councils who spend money carelessly and pay each other vast salaries and then just extract money from council taxpayers because they can. This is the one time I have to agree with him. Yeah, we know that there are some councils who are badly miscarrying their money. We also know, and this is very important to highlight, remember, the austerity has led councils to be run badly as well. The lack of money that's been going into councils has been a big problem as well. But I think there's also a really good big point here before we go any further. See, this bit up here where they said, remember when his own chief of staff was set to be paid more than the Prime Minister? Do you remember that story? Was it Sue Gray? the chief of staff, who was made chief of staff, and she was actually getting paid more than the prime minister. That set a precedent. He said chief executives often recommended that councillors' allowance go up, and in return, councillors vote to give them a big pay increase. This system is broken. He said that pay rises for chief executives should be limited to the inflation rate used for the benefits this year, which is 1.7%. I don't give a crap. Yeah, what the inflation rate is. You cap there. It should be capped, and they earn bonuses based on their performances. That's how you do it. That's how you don't allow council money to run amok here. While he said exceptions can be made for pay rises for new chief executives coming up to clear up messes, they also need to be held accountable and sacked for failures. Oh, well, I'm sure they've been held accountable, haven't they, while they're earning their £250,000, right? Yeah, if a business goes bankrupt, it has to reform and restart, and it has to provide a product that people can get out of bankruptcy. Whereas if a council goes bankrupt, it just sends a bigger bill to taxpayers. So councils have no real incentive to run themselves efficiently. Yeah, there you go. They go bankrupt, they can't afford to fold because councils need to run. So we have effectively, guys, I think we can effectively call this corrupt councillors in these councils. We have what may be, I think, perceived to be here corrupted councillors here who are abusing this, who could be potentially abusing the system in order to raise salaries for themselves at the expense of ordinary people by raising council taxes because they're not putting enough money in themselves while they're raising their own money, raising money for themselves. This is what we're having here. This is a scam in itself. This should be a massive story. Dorian Friend, head of research of the Taxpayer Alliance think tank, said that taxpayers will be outraged while their council pleads poverty and hike taxes. Town hall bosses are pocketing bumper pay pockets. He says struggling residents are being forced to bail out councils that can't balance the books, yet their top brass are still ranking the six-figure salary. If councils can't afford these eye-watering wages, they have no excuse for demanding even more from hard-pressed taxpayers. Simon Kay, Policy Director of Reform Public Service think tank, said that taxpayers would be forgiven for being concerned about where their money goes. Councils argued that their pay rates were high to attract the best leadership and remain competitive with the private sector. I'm sorry, I'd rather have... I'm sorry, we don't need... These people do... There's no justification... I don't accept this. I don't accept this argument. I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that you cannot get decent people in for £100,000 or less. You cannot tell me that. I'm not accepting that premise. We do not need to be paying them 150, 100, 200, 250. There's no justification for it. I don't care what their CV is. I don't care how qualified they are. Find a better way. I don't accept this. I'm not accepting this argument one bit. It's just folly. Slough Borough Council said its current chief executive was appointed by its government intervention commissioners and is a managing director commissioner as well as a chief executive director. So it's different from a traditional permanently appointed chief executive. A spokesperson in his pay rate similar to the other government's commissions in Slough. BS is what I'm calling it. Cut. A Newham Council spokesperson said their request for exceptional financial support stems entirely from the £100 million cost of supporting families facing homelessness over the next 3 years. The council said it has set the 7th lowest council tax in London. You still have people earning huge amounts of salaries. Spokesperson for Croydon Council said staff salaries are set by an independently assessed evaluation system commonly used across local governments, which ensures Croydon is in line with other councils. It said its chief executives were paid below the market median for all London boroughs. I don't give a monkey. You're still earning too much money. Drop it down. Again. An East Borough Council spokesperson said it shares all services with Lewis District Councils, including senior management team. That includes chief executives and just 3 directors. Again, I don't give a damn. That's not good enough. Drop its salaries. They said that this generated savings of £3.2 million without cuts to frontline services. Chief executive also recently being shared with Hastings Borough Council. They added. Again, I understand that you got difficulties. Still, I don't accept the justification for them earning the money that they earn. Birmingham City. We're already signed up, thank you. Birmingham City Council spokesperson said it has processes in place to set out the framework of senior salary levels and ensure value for money. Value for money, guys! Birmingham City Council are giving best value for money for these people. And it is important that we are able to recruit and retain experienced experts to implement policy and oversee performances across a wide range of vital services. That's why we need to pay them more than £250,000 to justify their work. Because we can't get someone less than £100,000 who could potentially do the same work, if not better. Barnet Council spokesperson said its pay is in line with the payout of other London boroughs to ensure that we can attract and retain the best staff, and that pay increases have generally been below the rate of inflation for several years and is in line with the National Pay Agreement. They said it has reconstructed a senior team to reduce costs by 10% and found that £23 million in efficiency savings. They added that the council had been affected by austerity funding cuts and rising demands for services such as adult social care and temporary accommodations. Of course, I'm glad they pointed out austerity and the cuts that they've had and funding cuts. I accept that. I still think, that they shouldn't be earning the amount of money they should be earning. Somerset Council spokesperson said they're reconstructing the entire council, which will save £34 million from its pay bill by the 1st of April 2025, including a reduction in the number of senior managers from 30 to 21. They added, since local government reorganisation in April 2023, we have saved £4.1 million in senior management salaries. They pay grades for all roles, including senior leaders, are compatible with other councils and are informed by nationally recognised pay negotiations and job evaluation processes. All staff receive a pay rise in line with the National Set Pay Award this year. Shropshire Council spokesperson said the amount of senior managers are paid and any pay awards in these posts is voted for by councillors. They said councillors endured a review of senior managers last week, which has just come into effect and reduced the senior leadership team at Shropshire from 20 to 12.5 posts with no regrades, savings of around 1.5 million in 1 million in salary costs. Again, great, but the salaries for your people are still too high. They said salaries are locally agreed but are informed by the nationally agreed pay rewards from chief officers as well as being routinely benchmarked against similar roles in comparable councils and industries in order to attract strong leadership. Again, you do not need to be paying these people so much money. I'm not accepting these salaries. These are too high. In the last year, Shropshire Council has delivered more than £46.6 million of savings, equivalent to nearly 80% of the revenue budget they added. Very good that they've saved that amount of money, but still no excuses for these salaries. A Woking Council spokesperson said they no longer have a chief executive as the council is under government intervention and therefore run by government-appointed commissioners. With the remission set by the government, they added that the council tax will rise by 2.99%, below the maximum set by the government. The remaining councils did not respond when approached for comment. 6 councils were given approval to increase council tax above the normal 5% due to their perilous financial position. They have faced accusations of financial mismanagement and poor performance in recent years. Here are a few examples. Bradford's £50 million venue unable to open. Bradford is the City of UK City of Culture for 2025, but the council's woes have been symbolised in the fate of its new venue, Bradford Live. The former Odeon Cinema was bought in 2012, and £50 million had been spent turning it into an arts and culture destination, which was due to open in November 2024. However, the operator NEC Group pulled out of the deal to run it with little explanation, leaving the 3,800 venue seat empty. Well, that was very good. £50 million down the drain. Birmingham's botched IT system, we talked about that in the past. Birmingham been criticised for a series of failings which have contributed to its worsening financial position. A new IT system for finance and payroll went live in 2022, but it has been hit with repeated glitches, leaving the authorities unable to file audible accounts. Costs are estimated to reach more than £260 million by 2026, according to a report published in 2024. Maidenhead's Golf Club sold in a £105 million deal. As part of Windsor and Maidenhead Borough Council's attempt to plug its financial black hole, it looks to sell the Maidenhead Golf Club in a £105 million deal with a property developer to build 1,500 homes. The club's professional Steve Gelly told the Gov website, "But I'm very upset because it's a great golf club. I don't know how the council will get away with it, to be honest. They're only selling it because they are in debt." And there's more examples down there they have there as well. I've been talking about this for 24 goddamn minutes, and this is outrageous. I'm sorry if some of you think that there is some kind of justifiability for them to be earning this much money. Let me be clear, yeah? There are plenty of people who do the same job, who do similar jobs, working down on for similar levels in other countries, doing these kinds of roles for far, far less. Far less money. That's my gripe with all of this. 44 bosses paid more than Keir Starmer. Majority of that list there. The 3 pages. We had 3 pages there. How many did we have? I mean, I didn't count them all. But from 150,000 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like we're talking about, what, 25, 30 people, earning more than 150,000 to nearly 295,000. And some of them maybe even higher that we don't even know about. And the argument is that, oh, we need the best and the brightest to do these jobs. Why not get local people involved? People who know the city well. Why do you have to get outside people to balance these books? Why not get people from within those towns, those cities, who know the towns and cities well, who know these things? Why not get someone on a local level rather than paying these ridiculous salaries for these people? Because they are looking at this all like a business. It's not a business. It's a public duty. They're treating this like a business. It's just wrong. It's wrong that they are earning so much money. I understand that councils are having a hard time, guys. I really do. I understand that. I understand that these councils are struggling, and I do believe there is. I'm starting to have this. I still wonder if there is a stench of corruption taking place here as well now within these councils. A form of corruption that we have, because this is the first time that I've actually come to my thought that perhaps maybe we have actually had corrupt councillors within our boroughs in England, because they are because of the money that they are earning. I generally think there is that possibility. Like, they can argue all they want about how their systems is and how they appoint their people, and claiming that they need the best and the brightest, but it stinks of corruption. It stinks of corruption, this does. Because the money doesn't justify it. The money does not justify these salaries. The money does not justify in any way, shape or form these jobs. They're not the leader of a country in any way, shape or form. If I was in government and I knew about this, I would immediately just cap. I would cap all salaries, all wages within councils to £100,000 max. Cap them at 100,000, and if they want to earn more, they get it through bonuses based off their performances and the performance of overall of that council, on how much money they save, on what initiative they keep on, etc., 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 and what that person in particular does to save money and other things on their performance. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You don't give them a massive pay wages. Yeah, you cap their wage, and then they get bonuses based on their performance. That's how you do it. This systems that they are using sucks, doesn't work, and it needs to change. Some of you might even think that £100,000 may be too much, but that's my position. What do you guys think on all of this absolutely insane amount of money? I know I've gone on for too long, but this needed to be done. Let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. If you've watched as far as this, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button, share this across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Do check out Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content as well. If you want to financially support me, hit that join button down below, so you can become a YouTube member for as little as 99p. That really does help and make a difference. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.